Hello, my name is Susan Sacco, and I'm the Disability Coordinator here at Blackhawk College in Moline. I've worked at Blackhawk for a little over 10 years now. Basically, I'm the person that you would see should you need accommodations or help when you come to Blackhawk College. The Disabilities Services Department is a part of Blackhawk and a service that we provide. We accept people, of course, with disabilities. And as a result, the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, requires that we provide reasonable accommodations based on a person's documented disability. So that includes students that come to Blackhawk College to take classes. If they have been in special ed, have an IEP or 504 plan, then we acknowledge that as a person who has a disability. And based on documentation and them sitting down with me and filling out some forms, we talk about what kind of accommodations or help they need so that they have access to education, access to the programs at Blackhawk College. As you may know, the K through 12 program falls under the IDEA Act, which is very different from that of what post-secondary or college, community college, or a four-year college fall under. We comply with the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And to me, I guess I would sum it up by saying, really, the IDEA, you get accommodations or help, regardless if you want it or not. Sometimes you have faculty or what I would call teachers' resource rooms and parents making decisions for the child. One of the differences that I've really come across in my time at Blackhawk, a typical accommodation in high school is maybe open notes, open book for tests. Unfortunately, when you get to college, it's not an accommodation at the college level. Again, at the ADA just requires us to provide access to education. We don't guarantee a diploma. We don't guarantee success. But my job, like I said before, is to provide access to the education. Typical accommodations in college could be a peer note taker or a copy of instructor's notes. Some students maybe need to record lectures to help them remember what was discussed or talked about in the class. It's very common to have like extra time for tests. We do have 4 rooms in my office where a student will be by themselves. So there's no distractions, there's no noise, just them. So they have that quiet, minimal distraction testing. We do have what's called Natural Reader, which is a screen reading program that will read tests out loud. Unfortunately, we don't have readers because we don't have enough staff to meet the demands. And another difference that comes to mind for me is in high school, it's okay for the teacher to maybe interpret tests or explain what the test question is or what it means. When you get to college, and especially when you're in one of our rooms, we're not allowed to interpret or translate what a question is in a test. That jeopardizes the integrity of testing, so that's not an accommodation we provide. We also have things like sign language interpreters, or we enlarge tests for those who maybe have a sensory disability. And I tell students this regardless of what college they pick. Do your homework. You know, it's so easy now to go online and check out Augustana College or Western and Google their classes that you want, what majors. Check their disability or resource center and see what will they give you with your disability? What accommodations? You want to go to the best school that fits you, not only your major, but also with your disability and what your needs are. So to come to Blackhawk, you simply have an application that you fill out online. I believe it's less than 1 page. There's no cost for that. It's also a good idea, and I believe most students are taught about filling out financial aid FAFSA online. Your junior year, your senior year, you need your parents or your guardians' tax refund information. And then after you apply, you get accepted, because at Blackhawk, as a community college, we take everybody. So it's an open enrollment type of institution. After you sign up for and register, you will then take what's called a compass. And a compass, and I don't like to say test because it makes people nervous, so I'd rather say it's kind of an assessment tool that measures your math, reading, and writing. For example, you don't want to take a math class that's going to be too easy for you or too hard for you. So the compass will give the scores for those subjects. Then you follow up by meeting with an advisor. And the advisor is somebody, of course, who will sign you up for the classes that you need. And then after they see an advisor, it's important that they make an appointment to come and see me. And then you and I will sit down and we'll talk about what do you need, what accommodations will help you. And then I have what's called just a generic accommodation form that the student will sign, that I will sign, and it just simply says the student has a disability. Your disability is never disclosed. Professors and people in your classroom, your peers, will never know you have a disability or what your disability is. But then this accommodation form is what you would give the professor, preferably the first day of class, the first week of class, and that just lets the professor know that you're a student with a disability registered with my office, and it lists what kind of accommodations in the classroom or for testing that you require. Again, I think it goes back to what you had asked earlier about the high school and the college differences. The IDEA K through 12 says you will get accommodations regardless if you want it or not, most of the time. When they get to college, they have to come to my office, which means you have to self-disclose. And so often I see first-year students, it's like, freedom. I'm an adult. I don't have to go get help. I don't have to admit I have a disability. So they don't seek me out. They don't seek out the help. I cannot tell you how many times right before midterms, and sometimes even as late as after midterms, a student will come to me and they're failing their classes. And I simply say, why didn't you come see me in the beginning of the semester? Well, I didn't want to admit I had a disability. I kind of wanted to do it on my own. And then I say, well, how did that work out for you? Not so good. And what the downfall is, if a student doesn't come and get help and they try it on their own, and perhaps they are failing the class or they withdraw, if you do this too much throughout the semester or the second semester, you jeopardize your financial aid. So there's a trickle effect if you don't come and get the help you need. I tell students right off the bat, just come to my office, sign up with me, get the accommodation form, go to class, maybe try the first week. Hey, maybe you don't need accommodations for the first aid class. That means you don't have to give the accommodation form to the faculty member. Terrific. Maybe, on the other hand, the first day of math class is like, oh my gosh, I need help. I need accommodations. You've got the accommodation form to give to the professor. I always tell students, you're an adult when you come to college, and we'll treat you like an adult. But on the other side, you are in the driver's seat. So I give you the tools, the accommodation form, and the accommodations are there. What you do with them is up to you. But coming to see me is a very, very important, because I cannot tell you, It's so amazing to me, Corey, how many I see that fall through the crack and don't come back after the first semester or even the first year, and it's simply because they didn't take the time to come and see me. On our website, Blackhawk College website is fabulous because if you look under student resources, there's a link for disability services, not just for the Quad City campus, but also for the East campus. And it lists the accommodation or the disability person you see. It also lists our hours and our office number and our phone number. So for me, if a student is interested in coming to the Quad City campus, they would just simply call our main office, which is 796-5900. They can also email me, which is saccos@bhc.edu. And when they make an appointment to see me, it's important they bring their IEP or their 504 plan if it's not more than 5 years old. And that's kind of the catch, but that's a policy in our office that we need something that is not more than 5 years old. There's also a couple forms they can pick up at our office, and we can mail them or email them, and then along with their schedule. That's all the paperwork they will need to bring. And then sitting down with me is less than a half an hour, and that's, like I said, where we sit down and we talk about what accommodations they need, and we design the accommodation for them. I think the only other words of wisdom I have, I'm a person with a disability. Granted, I'm middle-aged by now, but I hope people will take away from the fact that this interview is that there is no shame in having a disability. I mean, if you want to look at it as that I'm just unique, I'm a little different, and you don't like the term disability, that's fine. But you need to embrace it and empower yourself, because that's part of being an adult. When you get the skills you need at college and you come out into the working world, you need to be aware about your disability, your uniqueness. You're not going to get very far in life if you don't. So, again, the shame and the stigma, I'd like to see us forget about that and embrace our diversity, embrace our uniqueness. Simply pick up the phone, 796-5900. I'm there all summer, all year long. You can come to my office, which is room 241. I'm right next door to financial aid and enrollment services, which are two important offices that a student sees. I'm in building 1, so I'm accessible. I'm there. And hopefully if you are logging into our webpage and looking at this video, you'll also see the contact. If you want to go by email, again, saccos@bhc.edu. And our website does have information about East Campus as well if you are considering going to Blackhawk College East.